everybody, welcome into the Flippin Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star, the Flippin Hippo, if you didn't know. And today it's Tuesday. I thought it was Wednesday all day, but it is Tuesday. And it's February 25th, so we're about to wrap up the second month of 2020. One extra day in the month this year. Leap year. Sorry guys, my messages have been blown up. Okay, let's see who's here. Elizabeth is here. Hello from Georgia. Robert's in the house. That's Zombie Bargain Hunter, guys. The guy with the blue wrench. Flippin' Daddy, Danny, welcome in. And Pete says, evening all, changed my reselling accounts to a new bank today, so I can't cheat. Either my personal or business monies. Finished my first year yesterday. I'm ready to try this full time. So that is a really good, congratulations. That's an amazing thing to do for your business and for yourself. It's probably a very smart thing to do, just to keep things separate. We have separate bank accounts for everything as well, and it just kind of helps you to stay organized and keep things separate. So that's definitely good to hear that you did that. Believable Blessing says hello from Kansas, and then something about sports that I don't understand. Richard, hi. Amy, hi. Rick, Angie Resells, Rags, Cheryl, Rhonda and Amelia, Lisa, Kelly, and Carl are all in the house. So welcome in, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. So before we get started, we already got 32 people in the chat. So I'm going to get started right away because I'm going to show you. You guys know that I make notes or outlines before all of my shows, not just the live, even the pre-recorded. I'm very organized, and I always have an outline. So this is tonight's. There's that page, and there's that page. So I have a lot I want to talk to you guys about. So I am going to ask that if you have questions, to please hold on to them until the very end of the show. Hey, Wade's Ventures is in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping in on us. Wade, I did see the video in the storage unit last week where you had the big hippo and gave us the shout out. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Megan Mawiney, guys, you guys saw her last week on the show as a guest. Julie, welcome in. Okay, so I have this page and this page. I have a lot I really want to cover. So if you have questions, hang on to them at the end. I'll try my best as I talk to keep up with the chat and interact with you guys and answer questions and whatnot. But just try to hold all the questions to the end. Questions. So that I can get through the outline. But before we get started on the topic, I'm so excited. You guys, just before I went live, Keith can confirm this. I was literally running around the house, shaking my butt and dancing and saying, woohoo! It's about time. So I just saw a post in our Facebook group. If you're not a member, you should be. Reseller, Flippin Hippos Reseller Pod. Flippin Hippos Reseller Pod. I'm so excited. I can't even talk. I have been waiting for this moment for a couple of years. So everyone, one of our members in the Facebook group, Anne Marie Lapari. If you're in the house, say hi, Anne, because I'm about to read your comment or your post, your screenshot that you posted to the group. So Anne Marie Lapari reached out to Poshmark and asked them if we are allowed, you ready? If we're allowed to list Plush on Poshmark. And this is the response she got from Poshmark support. This is you can't see it. If you're in the Facebook group, this is in the Facebook group. The screenshot is specifically from Poshmark support. So this is 100% authentic and official. It came from Poshmark support to Anne, and it says, thank you for taking the time to reach out to us. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. We would like to confirm that, you ready? You can go ahead and list the plush animal toys in the home category under pillows. Woo! Everybody, I'm so excited. I'm like a kid in a candy shop right now. I am literally, as soon as I'm done with this live show, I'm pulling up my list perfectly. I'm doing the multiple bulk cross postings, and I'm moving some plush over to Poshmark tonight. I cannot be more excited or more thrilled. Let me read it to you again. It is official. You can see the post in the group. It came from Poshmark support itself. We'll keep that thread in the group. Obviously, you guys can screenshot this for yourselves from the group. So if you ever get any heat or whatever from Poshmark for listing plush, you can say, Poshmark support said, and I quote, "We would like to confirm that you can go ahead and list the plush animal toys in the home category under pillows." And the Poshmark support person actually wrote, "Woohoo!" So she must be excited about it too. So guys, we can list our plush in Poshmark. How exciting is that? That is a lot of notes, yeah. So let's go through the chat real quick and then we'll just jump into the actual meat of the show. Stacy says, "I finally made a live show. I love you, Star. You've helped me expand my eBay offerings with your awesome advice with plush. Hail to the plush queen." Thank you so much, Stacy. That's so sweet. Thank you. Christian's in his house, probably driving. He listens to me like I'm a podcast when he drives, guys. He doesn't actually watch me, so he's being safe. Ladies' Closet is here. The Nurse Flipper's in the house. Did I say Plushmark? I'm so excited. We can list Posh on Plushmark. Plush on Poshmark. So I'm trying to catch up real quick. Yeah, you're going to be able to bundle plush. So if you have like mini My Little Ponies or Smurfs, imagine the possibilities. That's what I'm most excited about, is all of the animals I have that go together. People might bundle them. Robert says it's about time. I got to sign up for List Perfectly. Robert, just a small plug for us. If you want to use our affiliate link to sign up, that would be fantastic. Help us out a little bit and help us to keep doing what we do on this channel. I do have an affiliate link with List Perfectly. We get a little bit of a throwback if you sign up with it. It's in the description box, but it's like all the way buried at the bottom. But you can find it there if you want to sign up using that. And then you can do the bulk cross-posting, Robert, and you can literally take over and own Poshmark, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the shipping's going to be great, because if you can get it into a priority box and it's less than 5 pounds, you're golden. List Perfectly. Flippin' Daddy, $4.99. I was about to say shout out. Super chat. Yay. Plush on Poshmark, says Danny. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Your little dancing hippo. I think she already came across the little hula hippo. Trina says, "I have something to do after the power nap." Rhonda and Amelia are, of course, excited. So if you aren't on List Perfectly now, I would absolutely suggest getting it, because you can. I have a video on how to do it if you want to search the channel. You can use List Perfectly now to cross-post multiple items at once. It's amazing. So, Plushmark it is. We'll start calling it Plushmark. Who's selling plush on Plushmark? So, I'm excited. And I think that plush is one of those items people actually search for and look for, and it's not as saturated yet on Poshmark, so you may have a little bit more luck with that than clothing. Robert says, "I'm ready to dominate Posh." So Angie says, "I need to get List Perfectly." Yeah, if anyone wants to use our affiliate link, please do. It is in the description box. It just helps us out a little bit. Helps me to keep, doing what I do for free all day. The affiliate links help me to do things that aren't necessarily listing and making money. All the time that I spend making videos and answering messages and emails and stuff. When you guys use our affiliate links, it really helps us out a lot. Because when I'm not listing, we're not selling, but I'm doing this stuff. So, Nurse Flipper, $10 super chat. Wow, thank you so much. So great about plush. I'm excited with that, and List Perfectly, so easy to move over. Thank you for the info, Star. Well, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I don't know if she already came across or not, but you should see your little Hulu. Hulu is a streaming service. There's a hippo who comes across and a hula skirt, and we'll dance for you. All right, let's jump into this because I got a lot to talk about. So, I've been getting a lot of messages lately and emails from folks asking just different kinds of questions that are all the same basic topic. They want to know, is it feasible to sell enough to make $500 a week? Is it feasible to do this full time? Is it feasible to do this with a disability? Can I make a full-time living? How much do I sell that we can live the way we do? And the answer simply is yes. You can make this your full-time job. You can do this for a living. It is possible. Now, a lot of the information I'm going to go over tonight and talk about with you guys is going to be kind of, wow. Robert, can you grab those comments, please? A lot of what I'm going to talk about is kind of for new people to hear that may not know how to do this fully yet. Thank you, Robert, for that. So, oh gosh, I got really discombobulated here. All right, so if you're new or you're doing this part-time and you haven't quite made the move, this information is going to be really good for you. If you're already full-time, stay tuned to listen to the whole video because you might get a different perspective on something than you hadn't had before. Because those of you that are doing this full-time, you probably already have your routines and your methods that you do, but maybe a different perspective on one or two items will help you to increase your profits, increase the money that you make, and help you to make a better living, and maybe do something a little more streamlined. So, number one, the number one thing you need to do this full-time is you have to be a person who is self-driven and self-motivated. If you don't have any self-drive, if you can't motivate yourself, if you're not the type of person who can get out of bed every morning and force yourself to work, then this is probably not for you. And that is a harsh reality, and that is some tough love, but you guys know I don't sugarcoat anything. So if you have any kind of doubt about yourself being motivated or self-driven, this is probably not the job for you. And that there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of people in this world who don't have self-motivation or self-drive, and that's why they have to go work outside of the house where they clock in every day at a certain time and clock out at a certain time in order to keep their job, and then they have tasks delegated to them throughout the day by upper management because they need someone else to focus them and drive them to what they should be doing all day. And when you work for yourself, you're not going to get fired if you don't clock in. You're not going to get fired if you're not somewhere at a certain time, and you don't have someone else delegating tasks to you all day. You are responsible for yourself to do the tasks. You have to delegate the tasks to yourself. And if you can't do that, sorry guys, this is not the job for you. There is a little bit of freedom and wiggle room with this job, absolutely. You can work for 2 hours in the morning, put your kids on the bus, work another 2 hours, go volunteer somewhere, take your dog to the vet, come home and work. But that's the self-drive and the self-motivation part. If you're not going to sit down and work this job 8 or 9 hours straight because you have other responsibilities or obligations, that's fine. But you still have to make sure that you do all the work every single day that you need to be doing to make this job work, whether it's one chunk from 9 to 5 or 2 hour spurts, 4 times a day. And if you have to take a day off for whatever reasons, you need to make that time up on the weekend. You have to be able to do this. You have to be able to force yourself to work every single day, even when you don't want to. Period. And I'm glad that Megan's here because Megan, I'm going to use you as an example. Megan has 2 children under the age of 2, right? Or under the age of 3 at least. She has 2 small babies. And her husband is in the military. And he is often deployed, and Megan is alone with 2 children. And she still does this full time. She still manages to work every day. She still manages to list 40 items most days. She goes out sourcing every weekend to get enough stuff to list that much every day. with 2 small children, with a husband who's deployed, and she makes 6 figures. So if anybody thinks they have any kind of excuse, I don't think you do. And I know I've said that on this channel before, and it's another tough love thing, but I just had this conversation with someone in real life. Actually, one of the girls that works at Goodwill wanted to know how to do this. This was one of the people who asked me, can you really make a living at this? And I'm like, what do you think I've been doing the last couple of years? Did I come here and get this stuff, She's like, but I have a kid. And I'm like, you have 1 kid. Yeah. Do you have help? Yeah. Well, then you don't have an excuse. And I actually told her about you, Megan. So she thinks that because she has 1 kid, she can't make this work. If you can have 2 kids and a husband who's deployed doing what he does to help our country, anyone can do this. And I'm not going to use myself as an example, but there are other folks in the Facebook group and many of you viewers who watch me that are also disabled that have debilitating chronic pain every single day and other disabilities. And we do it. We all do it every day. In spite of the pain, in spite of the disabilities and the limitations, you find a way to make it work for you. A good example is, I'm not going to use her name, but there is someone who messages me a lot on on email, and she has fibromyalgia. I can't say it, but you guys know what I mean. Fibromyalgia. And she deals with like intense pain. And so the way she's made this work is the little spurts. When she feels good, she works, and then she breaks, you know what I mean? So no one has an excuse. No one has an excuse. So yeah, you have to work every single day. You have to be able to make yourself work. So I've gone over the self-driven. You have to be motivated. You have to work every day when you don't want to. You also have to be a person who is able to create a schedule and a routine and stick to it. You need to have a schedule that works with your life to make this job work, and you need to have a routine within that, and you need to stick to it. If your routine needs to be morning coffee and listing 5 things and then doing something with your kids and then a shower, you work this around your life. Like I said, there is freedoms with this, and you can work this job around any kind of life. Everyone is different. We all have different stories, but you can make it work. And then you also have to be willing to do the grunge work. Because y'all, this job is not glamorous, and it's not always fun. This job is not just going to thrift stores and yard sales and throwing money around and having fun thrifting. Like in that song, I'm going to pop some tags. We're not just like in fur coats dancing through the thrift store throwing money around. There's a lot of parts of this job that are gross, hard work, grunge work, tedious, boring, and you have to be able to do it all. You have to be able to do the fun stuff and the grunge work too. And you have to treat this like a real job. Just because you're not getting up and driving somewhere and clocking in and then clocking out and coming home, just because you're working from home doesn't mean this isn't a job. And that comes back to that self-drive. If you think you're going to sit around and relax and watch shows all day, or find excuse after excuse, oh, my kid needed me, my pet, my grass, my plant, my whatever, this isn't for you. So, who wants to see Star in a fur coat popping tags? Okay, everyone's story is different. I've already said that. So everyone's life, everyone's story, everyone's journey, everyone's place in life right now is different. Everyone's purpose for making money is different. Some folks are paying a mortgage. Some folks are paying off school or college tuition loans. Some folks have kids. Some don't. Some people have pets that have really specific special need pets that need a lot of veterinary care. Some people have a significant other. Some people are single and live alone. Some people pay rent. Some people have 2 cars to pay off. Some people don't have any cars to pay off. Some people's bills are really high, and some people have really low bills and live a very like low maintenance lifestyle. Some people like to eat out a lot. Some people like to cook at home. Some people like to shop at Walmart, and some like to shop at Target. All of these things that I'm mentioning create each individual person and their story. And so why we need money and how much money we need is different for every person's individual story and life that they are currently living at the time. I can sit here and tell people all day long how much we sell every week, how much money we make, how much we work every day, but that's not going to help you because our story is different than yours. Our bills are different than yours. The lifestyle that we want to live, that we choose to live, the amount of money that we save up, the fact that we follow Dave Ramsey and maybe you don't. So what we do with our money is different than what other people do with their money. So while I can help you understand how to get to where you need to be for your personal goals and the life that you choose to live and your necessities that you need, me telling you I list X amount a day, I source X amount, I make X amount, I sell X amount, that is not going to help you because you may have a completely different amount of money. You might need less or you might need more to keep up your lifestyle and your bills than we do. So what I want to do, instead of using myself as an example for people to make that a goal, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, because I'm constantly telling you guys, let me clap for emphasis, don't compare yourself to anyone else. Ever. It is not about anybody but you. This is your lane. You need to stay in your lane. You need to drive in your lane and worry about yourself and your life and your family, your friends, your bills, your money, your goals, your needs. That is what you need to worry about. Don't worry about what anybody's doing over here or over there. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Don't worry about what Megan's doing. You can look at other people for inspiration, but don't compare yourself. So if you want to look at what someone is doing and say, wow, that is amazing, that is goals, I would like to be there someday, and they inspire you, that is one thing. That is really good. But it's different when you're comparing yourself to someone. You don't want to come up feeling lacking because you're not exactly like John, Dick, or Harry, but your situation's different, so you shouldn't be comparing yourself anyway. And then the other ugly side of that coin, and I see this a lot in the reselling groups, sometimes when people start comparing themselves to other people, it goes the other way, the very ugly way of, oh, well, I'm doing better than they are. I sell more than, and they get really cocky about it. They get egos, and they're rude, and they lord it over people, and I just don't like that. But my point is, don't compare yourself to anyone else. You can use people for inspiration, but don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Worry about yourself. Because your story and all of those things I just talked about are different from person or person. So, hi, Brian. That was my snarky. Hi, Brian. Hi. So, you need to figure out how much money you need, period. You, personally, in your position in life right now, how much do you need? You need to sit down with a pen and a piece of paper and write down all your bills, all of your expenses every month, and then all of your lifestyle stuff. So, your bills are things you have to pay. You know, things you can't get away from paying. Your gas bill, your light bill, your car notes if you have them, your rent or your mortgage, if you have credit card bills, if you have student loan debt like I mentioned, anything that you have to pay as a bill. And then your expenses are like if you're paying down medical bills, if you have doctor's visits or vets that you have to pay for, your groceries, your gas money, and then your lifestyle stuff is the stuff you don't necessarily have to have or have to pay, but you like to have to keep a certain comfortability in your own life. And that's different for everyone too. Some people want to eat out once a week. Some people want to eat out once a month. Some people want to eat out 3 times a week. And that's okay if you can afford it. That's fine. Some people want to get Starbucks every day. Some people like to spend money on their hair or their feet when they get pedicures, whatever. Your dog, whatever. Everyone's different. So you need to get a piece of paper and a pen, your bills, your expenses, and your lifestyle, and add that up. And that's what you need every month to continue as you are now. But in order to do this full time, I strongly recommend that you make it a goal to make double what you need to live, just as a cushion, because you never know when stuff's going to come up. You could end up with a flat tire, a car that needs repaired, your dog, kid, mom, grandma could have an emergency, your eBay bill could be higher than normal. You could come into a really good opportunity to buy wholesale or a whole bunch of stuff for your business, and you want to have that money readily available. So I always say, figure out exactly how much money you're spending every single month and double that. And that's the amount that you need to make full time to do this full time. You can also choose to make some sacrifices. If you are miserable at your job and you need out now, excuse me, you can make sacrifices. And this goes back to being a Dave Ramsey fan, a Dave Ramsey follower. But you can say, we're not going to eat out. I'm not going to get my manicure, my pedicure, and my hair done. I'm going to cut back on groceries, not get Starbucks, whatever. But you can cut back on all those little lifestyle things if you need to cut that monthly amount back before you double it. If you're in a situation, if you're miserable at your job, if you're not happy, if you have some kind of a disability or chronic pain and you just need to be at home doing this full time, you need to make that choice. Do I want to make the amount of money to keep living as I am? Can I? And you can. It's possible. But if you want to do it quicker, faster, sooner, you can always make those sacrifices. So that's something to think about too. So once you have that final number, this is the amount of money I need every month to live exactly as I am now, or I'm making cuts, times 2. So whatever that number is for you, everyone's is going to be different. That is what you're going to need to make. And then from there, it's just going to be a simple math problem. But before we get into the math problem, I want to talk about having a cushion. I absolutely recommend anyone jumping into this to have at least 6 months of your monthly bills and expenses saved up as an emergency fund before you quit your job and jump into this with 2 feet. You can't just quit your job with no money in the bank and expect this to work. It won't. There's some more of that reality and tough love. If you think you're just going to quit your job and start reselling tomorrow, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You're not going to have any money. You're not going to make enough in the beginning. It's just not going to happen. So I recommend to everyone that I talk to or coach in emails or whatever, save up 6 months at the very least. You can take out that lifestyle stuff, but what are your bills and your expenses every month? Save up 6 months of that in a savings account somewhere as a cushion, and then make sure that you're making at least close enough to that amount we talked about that you doubled. Make sure that you're making, because even if you have 6 months of expenses saved up, and let's say you need, I'm going to pull a number out of my head. Say you need $3,000 a month. So you need $6,000 because you double. So you sit down, you figure out all your expenses and everything, and you're like, okay, we spend $3,000 a month as a family. So I should probably aim to make $6,000 a month. Just pulling numbers out of my hat, everybody's number is going to be different. Even if you already have that 6 months saved up, if you're only making like $1,500 a month reselling right now, you probably still don't want to quit your job yet. You want to get closer to that number. Of course, once you're doing this full time and you're spending more time on it, you'll see that you make more money, because the more time you spend on this business, the more effort you put in on it, the more money you will make. But make sure you have a cushion, that you have Cecina. I'm probably saying your name wrong, but welcome in. Thanks for joining us live tonight. So you make sure that you're close to that number you need, plus you have a cushion. Okay, so now you need to do the math. And to do the math, first of all, you have to figure out what's available to you in your area that you can source and resell to make money. And again, that's going to be different for everybody, depending on where you're at. There's people that live in places that find high-end luxury brand items at the thrift store every single day. And there's folks who only ever find bread and butter. There's people who have access to getting wholesale electronics. There's people who have the bins. There's people who may know someone and get a special deal on shoes wholesale, or have a hookup somewhere that they know how to get liquidation lots. So you just have to decide what you have available to you that you can source. And that's probably going to be what you have to build your business on in the beginning. For most people, that's clothing because it's readily available everywhere. Super cheap cost of goods. You can go to the bins and load up for $20 and get started. Most people, it is clothing. But again, everyone's situation is different. But whatever's readily available to you to get your hands on the most of at first, to build up your store, to start making profits, to turn those back into more goods, to turn into more profits, to keep rolling that. Find out what is in your area and what is the average sale price of the stuff that you're going to be finding. And then once you know your average sale price of what you're sourcing, you can kind of figure out your average profit per item. So let's say you're lucky enough that you live in an area where you can find luxury brand jeans all the time for $5 at your thrift store. And whoever you are, if this is you, you're lucky. So you know your average sale price on those jeans is probably going to be like $60 to $70. So let's say 70. Then you would say, okay, well, I'm going to average 15% fees for eBay and PayPal. So that is around $10. So you're left with 60. If you spent 5, you're left with 55, and then you got to factor in the shipping. So we'll say 8 for the padded flat. So you're left with 47. So then you know your average profit per item is $47. So again, what do you have available to you? Your average sale price. Subtract your fees and your shipping in your head on that average sale price to get your average profit per item. So once you know what your average profit is per item, now you have to figure out how many items a day you need to sell to make X amount per week times 4 to get that double digit we talked about for your monthly goal. So again, I'm going to pull easy numbers out because I'm not that great at math, guys. I've admitted that to you before. But let's say your goal is $1,000 a month. I know that's not feasible, but let's say that. And we'll go with this jeans analogy that you're making $47 per pair of jeans, right? So you would need to make, I'm going to use a calculator anyway. So if your goal was $1,000 a month, divided by 4, you need to make $250 a week. And if this jeans analogy was you, so 250 divided by 47, you would need to sell 5 pairs of jeans a day. Knowing that clothing has an average of 0.5% sell-through rate, so does Plush. Plush is probably a little bit lower. Electronics are about 1%. If you want to sell 5 a day, you need to have 1,000 listings on eBay to sell 5 a day. But you probably want to aim a little bit higher than 1,000. So you can sell more because you don't want to do the bare minimum. But let's say you aim for 1,500 listings on eBay and you get there. How many do you need to list a day to stay there? If you're selling 5 a day and you want to grow by 5 a day, you need to be listing 10 a day so that you can stay over that 1,000 listings and continue to sell those 5 a day. So I hope everyone is following my horrible math analogy, but it's just a basic math. You figure out how much you need a month to live on, double that. Divide that by 4. That's how much you need to make every week. Your average sale price, subtracting fees and shipping, is your average profit. That is however many of those you're going to need to sell per day to make that weekly goal, to make your monthly goal. And then from there, you can figure out how much you should be listing every single day to make that goal. So, yeah, I always say aim higher. So if you need 1,000 listings to make the money that you need to make, I would say aim more for 1,500 to 2,000 because it's always better to make more money, right? If you make more money than you need, you can buy bigger and better inventory. You can invest your capital into wholesale lots and things like that. You could save up and go on a vacation. You can get a new car. You can pay something off early so that you're not making monthly payments. You can pay off your debt. It's always a good idea to aim higher and make more money because you can always reinvest it or use it for something like a vacation or paying something off. And I always say, if your math tells you that you should be listing 10 a day, try for 12, try for 13. Just because it's always better to aim higher. And there's going to be days where, sorry, I'm reading the chat. There's going to be days that you're not going to feel as well. Emergencies come up, things happen in life. You can have this plan on paper all you want and have the math and know what you need to do and have your schedule and have your routine and be a person who's self-driven, and life will still throw wrenches in there and you're going to have days where you just can't get around to it. So if you're listing extra on the other days, you're still golden. Tom, hi. So now that you know how much you need to list it each day, now you know how much you need to source. If you need to list 10 items a day, you need to be listing 70 things a week. If you need to be listing 20 items a day, you need to be listing 140 pieces a week. And that goes back into the having that money saved up before you jump into this. If you don't make enough profits in the beginning, you can still have money to reinvest in your business. Now, hey Pamela, welcome in. So now that we've done the math, I'm going to let you know that this is all based on selling on eBay full time. Why did I choose eBay? Because I 1000% recommend anyone new to reselling, anyone jumping into this with the eventual goal of this being their full-time job and their full-time income, to start on eBay and to build up eBay first. eBay should be the number one platform you start on. You should build up on there with this math. That should be your one and only focus until you get to where you need to be on eBay. You need to become an expert on eBay before you ever diversify onto other platforms, before you ever start cross-posting. The reason I say this is because eBay is still the biggest other than Amazon, but that's a whole different can of worms. But as far as selling used items and clothing and plush and electronics and hard goods and coffee mugs and all these other things that we can sell, eBay's the biggest platform. It is global. You can either do global shipping through the eBay program, or you can do international shipping on your own with Pirate Ship. So you have the most amount of eyeballs. Starting out on eBay is going to be the most beneficial because more people see it, more people shop on it than any other platform other than Amazon. And you can sell anything. Anything. Used, new, a coffee mug, a cow, a board game, shoes, whatevs. You can sell it on eBay, and you can sell damaged and defunct stuff. If you accidentally brought something home and you find a tear or small hole, you can still list it and at least get your money back. A lot of other platforms are just different, and you can't list as many things or whatever. So I always recommend new resellers starting out. If you want this to be your full-time job and you're not new, you need to refocus back to eBay. You need to get your eBay to be where it needs to be and be an expert on that before you branch out. So if you figured out that you need 1,000 listings to make it a go, or 2,000 listings or 3,000 listings to make it a go, you need to build your eBay up to that point, and eBay needs to be your sole focus before you start branching out to the other platforms. This is how Keith and I started. This is how Megan started. This is how so many resellers I know. Robert's still basically on eBay. Jamie got his start on eBay. So there's a lot of resellers that can tell you that this is how they started. You build your eBay up because you can get everything on there, and you have the most eyeballs globally looking at your items and buying them. So get your eBay built up and then worry about everything else. So Yeah, 2,500 listings. Whitley wears, and I think I saw your sell-through rate. You should be selling around 12 items a day. So if you want to let Megan look at your store, she can help you out there. Robert's on Posh now, but you were an expert on eBay, right? Courtney, thank you so much for saying great advice. Okay, so that said, I'm going to also tell you that every successful reseller I know has multiple streams of income, but it doesn't happen overnight. So just because you hear about all of these successful resellers who have all of these multiple streams of income coming in, if you're just getting started and you've only got 50 or 100 or 150 items on eBay, and your goal is to eventually do this full time, you, like I said at the beginning of this video, remember when I said only focus on yourself and stay in your own lane and only worry about what you're doing for you and your family and your goals? That's where this comes in. Yes, I always advise you to diversify and get as many streams of income coming in as possible. And every successful reseller I know has many, many, many streams of income coming in. But you need to get your eBay built up as the foundation and the basis of your business first. So if you've got 150 listings on eBay, you still need to focus on eBay for a while. And you need to buckle down. This is, again, not a glamorous job, and it's not easy. There's a lot of hard work. In the beginning, when we were first building up, between the two of us, we were listing like 60 items a day, every day. That's 30 a piece. And we got it to where we needed it to be, and then we could back off a little bit. But we put that work in. Most everyone I know in the beginning worked a lot harder to work less later, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit more in a minute. So get your eBay built up, but then don't become complacent. Don't become complacent. Just get the eBay built up and then look at multiple streams. You need the multiple streams. I'm going to tell you that right now, but you need the eBay built up first. So worry about the eBay, and when it's at the listings you need, list enough every day to stay where you are, but then you can start diversifying. And the way you diversify and the way you get your streams of income and all the different ways of making money is going to be different for every person also. Because again, everyone is different. If Keith and I were not doing this together, the Hippo Hut would not have a YouTube channel. It would not have an Instagram presence. There would be no guides. There would be no Facebook group, because Keith is not the type of person that wants to make videos or be a social media influencer or be out there in front of people. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Some folks are social. Some people want to do social media, make YouTube videos, and be out there in front of the world live talking to 120 people. And some people don't. And it's whatever you are comfortable with, whatever your personality is. If you don't want to be in front of a camera, try a podcast. If you don't want to do that, then don't even do it. I will say everybody needs social media. Everybody needs social media. But you don't have to think of your social media and your becoming a stream of income as far as being a personality. You don't have to have a YouTube or affiliate links or any of that to make money on social media. You can be on social media with very little interaction. You don't have to be a presence or an influencer to have an account with followers to make sales with your items on Facebook and Instagram. Does that make sense? So you can have a social media without being a presence. But if you've got the personality for it and you want to get in front of a camera and you want to be a social media influencer, by all means do that. Make that one of your streams of income. And then you can do the affiliate links once you get enough followers and stuff. And that could be another, I just saw the Keith by Brian. That could be another stream of income. $2 super chat from Courtney. Thank you so much. She says, thanks for all your hard work. Thank you. I appreciate it. Your little dancing hippo will come in a second for you. Jamie, you heard correctly. Plush can now be on Poshmark as of, I don't know when, but I made the announcement at the beginning of this video. It was an official message that was posted in our Facebook group from the Poshmark support. So, multiple streams of income. make them your personality. If you want to be on YouTube, be on YouTube. If you don't, be on Facebook Marketplace. Go to Poshmark. If you're not into the sharing and stuff on the Poshmark, try Grail, try Macari. Go on, well, but everyone should be on Bonanza because that's a no-brainer. So let me say that even when you're building up your eBay, before you start diversifying, you should still be on Bonanza because you literally sync your Bonanza to eBay with like 2 buttons. You click twice, it's synced, you set it, you walk away, you forget it, and every time you list new items on eBay, they show up on Bonanza, and every time they sell, they get removed. So you literally just sync Bonanza to your eBay and walk away, and you might make a couple extra sales. But figure out what your other streams are going to be. Sorry. I needed a drink. Oh, Domino's here. Domino. I'm sorry. Dominic, welcome in. I don't know why I called you Domino. My mind is on Deadpool comics, apparently. Plush goes, I gotta read the announcement again. Home under pillows. So if you missed that at the beginning, I did make the announcement. So, yep, I announced that at the very beginning of the video. You guys can go back and watch it on the replay if you want. Yeah, Bonanza's super slow, but there's no work to it. So, I am working. Dominic loves Domino's. I am working on a series of social media videos. I don't know when they're going to be out. I got a lot of other stuff in the pipeline for me, but I am going to do that for you guys sometime, hopefully before the summer. Like a whole series of them. So, multiple streams of income. And here's the thing. You got to account for all of this, though. So if you're trucking along and you have made a nice routine and a nice schedule for yourself, and you're listing 20 items a day on eBay and taking the photos and going sourcing and doing your shipping, and that's all running smoothly, and then you throw Poshmark in. Now you've got to make time to list on Poshmark, which if you have list perfectly, 2 minutes. 2 minutes to move 5 things. It's that quick. But you got to make time to share. You got to make time to cross-post and do offers to likers, and that's the same on Macari. They have offers to likers as well. So every time you add a new stream of income, that nice, comfortable routine that you're in, that nice schedule that you're in, it's going to be discombobulated a little bit, and you're going to need to rework things to make time for all these other streams of income. I did do a video over the Christmas, I keep calling it the Christmas break, like we're in school. So I did a video around Christmas time where I actually got out my bullet journal in a live, it was pre-recorded. I got out my bullet journal and I read out loud an example of my daily schedule. And so many of you guys wrote into me and sent me messages and were just so shocked, like, oh my God, we didn't realize you did that much every single day. Well, that's because I'm juggling Macari, eBay, Poshmark, YouTube, emails, messages, like all that stuff that comes with being a social media influencer. You could spend an hour or 2 responding to emails and messages from people every single day. That takes up 2 hours of time that, you could be listing, but I chose to be the social media influencer. So that's that. But a lot of people were shocked, like, oh my gosh, we didn't realize you did that much every day. But that's what it takes. If you want to do this full time, if you want to own your own business, that is what it takes. You've got to be dedicated and you've got to put in the time. I just applied for everyone in the Facebook group will be able to help you out with the Pokemon plush. Robert and I are pretty well versed, both of us, on Pokemon. And most everyone else in that group can help usually, but I just sold an exciting Pokemon over the weekend. He was in my What Sold video last night. He was a $28 Pokemon that sold overnight. He was cute. All right. So yeah, you got to be willing to do this. You have to work really, really hard. And every time you add something, you have to work even harder. But just keep in mind that anybody in the whole world ever, since the beginning of time, that decided, I'm going to start my own business, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, they had to work hard. And you're going to work harder in the beginning than later. When you're first building up a brand new business, you have to put in all the extra work. Like I said, bye Jamie, I'll talk to you later tonight, I'm sure. In the beginning, between the two of us, Keith and I were listing 50, 60 items a day on eBay every day. I only list 10 now because I'm just maintaining the numbers. I'm just maintaining the amount of listings we have. But in the beginning, when we were building up from zero, we had to put in all that extra work every single day to keep listing 60 a day, even if we were selling, 5 a day. We wanted to grow by 55 a day so that we could get to the 2,200 listings that we have at current. So you have to work harder in the beginning. You're going to have to source more. You're going to have to take more photographs. You're going to have to list more. You're going to have to bust your butt for what seems like nothing. I absolutely wanted to make sure I mentioned that. That's very important. In the beginning, you have to work harder. And it's going to seem like for nothing at first. You're going to be putting in so much work and you're going to feel like, why? What's happening? I'm listing 60 items a day and I'm still only selling 2. But before you know it, you'll hit 1,000 active listings and you'll start selling 5 items every single day. You'll have daily sales and you'll keep listing and you'll get to 2,000 listings and you'll have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 every single day. You'll have sales. And then you'll get to the number of listings that you want and you can back off and you can list less every day just to stay there. And all the hard work you put in the beginning pays off much later. So you have to work really, really hard in the beginning for little payout to work less hard later on for all of the payouts. So just think of it like you're building your business and you're putting all this work in so that later on you can maintain it. Building it is going to be a lot harder and a lot more work than maintaining it. So you have to work harder for yourself than you've ever worked for anyone else. You will have to work harder for yourself than you have ever worked for anyone else if you want this to work. Even in the later times, like I said, later on it gets easier and you can put less in to maintain where you're at. You're still going to work harder and more than you ever did for someone else. But you're doing it for yourself. So would you rather go work for someone else and put in less work to line some executive's pockets and buy his next Lamborghini and pay for all the CEOs to get Christmas bonuses so that you can bring home the same amount forever and never really get anywhere in life? Or would you rather work harder for yourself, build something for yourself, build something for your family, build a business that will support your family, and eventually it will pay for your next Lamborghini and line your pockets and pay for vacations and Christmas bonuses for your family? I would rather work harder for myself than to ever work for someone else so that everyone above me, executives, can have new cars and Christmas bonuses while I get nothing. So there's this expression that says, live like no one else will now so that you can live like no one else can later. And that's one of my favorite expressions. And that means right now you want to live like no one else will. You want to, as we talked about at the beginning of the video, when I talked about your lifestyle expenses, if there's things that you can sacrifice now, you can do that, but you're going to live like no one else will. So you say you give up your manicures, you give up your Starbucks, you give up your going out to eat, you give up your going to the movies and get Netflix instead to save money. So you're going to live like no one else really wants to while you build your business. But later on, when your business is built and you're making more money, you can start to live like no one else can, because that whole time that you were sacrificing and working hard and putting in all those hours and building this business, all those other people stayed at the same job. So, I guess I will open up the floor. We have a couple minutes. If you guys have questions, put them in the chat now, and I'll answer as many as I can before I take off. I do want to express a couple more points to you guys. Just things that I keep seeing in reseller groups and messages to me. You guys, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not. You're building a business. You're not just going shopping and thrifting and having fun. You're not going to get rich you're not going to get rich in a year. You're not going to get rich in 2 years. You're probably not going to get rich in 3 years. You're going to put in a lot of hard work. And I'm looking at my note and I'm thinking, do I want to say it? I'm going to say I swear. So if you got little kids in the room, cover your ears, because Star's going to drop a little tiny swear. This is not a job where you can sit on your ass and make passive income. It's just not. If you want to make the money, you got to work for it. It doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to get rich overnight. It's going to take a long time, and it's not easy. It's never easy. You're not just selling used items. You're not just flipping stuff. You're building a business. You're building a brand. And eventually, when you have your eBay built up and you start branching out into all these other incomes and streams of incomes, some of those will be passive and some of those are nice, because some of those really are like, I'm just going to do this and do that, and it's passive and money's coming in and this is great. But you still have to put all the hard work everywhere else. Just because we have a couple of passive incomes coming our way right now, because we've built up to that, that doesn't mean I don't have to still list on eBay every day. That doesn't mean I'm not sharing my Poshmark every day. I'm in the trenches just like the rest of you. I'm still doing the grudge work. Remember at the beginning, I said you had to be willing to do the grudge work? Now I have more fun work to do, clearly, and we have some passive income, and I love doing YouTube. It's so much fun. YouTube videos are so much fun. Interacting with people in the Facebook group, all that stuff is really, really fun, but I still have to get in the ditches. I still have to take pictures and take measurements and do my shipping and pack things up. So, it gets easier, but you're never going to not have a lot of work to do. You're never going to be all passive income. Not in this, not in reselling. So if any of these things I talked about tonight aren't you, if you're not willing to be someone who can be self-motivated and make yourself work hard every single day, and if you can't accept the fact that you're not going to have a lot of money for a very long time after you put in the hard work and all of the effort, then this job really isn't for you. And that's not me being mean and not me making any kind of judgments. Everyone is different, and if this job is not meant for you, then this job isn't meant for you, and it's probably time to toss in the towel and go do something that will bring you more enjoyment and less stress and less headaches. But if this is the job for you, then roll up your sleeves and get ready, because you're going to be putting in an awful lot of hard work. I don't have, Elizabeth asked what are my favorite plush brands to pick up. I don't have necessarily specific brands. Plush is a very complicated, Plush is sometimes about the brand, sometimes about the characters. Sometimes within certain brands, some characters are bad. Sometimes within some popular shows, some of the characters are good. So I don't really have I guess the ones that make the most money. So what personally works best for you sourcing? We only go sourcing on Sundays right now at current, because Keith is still working outside of the house, and because of my disability, I don't go sourcing alone because I can't lift over 5 pounds. I can't. I'm very limited. So we only go on Sundays together and 99-cent days. And I hit the plush first, and then the jeans, and then I look at shoes and other things. And Keith goes right to electronics and men's shirts. I did did see somewhere, Pamela, that you did get that going, so that's awesome. Congratulations. Thank you for being real. The what solds are nice, but hearing the work. Yeah, and there's a lot I leave out of the what solds too. So keep that in mind too, guys. Not just for this channel, but for any other reseller that you're looking at their what solds and the things they share. It's really just a highlight reel. And I do show you guys my mistakes. So whenever I accidentally sell something too cheap, or I forget to put shipping on it and we end up losing money, or if I source an item that this is total poop, I should never have sourced this. Mistakes like that I try to put in my what solds to show you guys, but I'm not going to sit there and show you, every 99-cent clearance piece of poop auction that I let go of that week. Or sometimes I put jeans on clearance for like $11 plus shipping or whatever. We clearance stuff out every week to try to get rid of poop, try to get things moving. And I think that's true for all resellers. A lot of times it's just a highlight reel. I try to show you guys things in the what solds that are going to definitely be things that you should be looking for when you're sourcing, or the other end of the spectrum. Like, look what I did. Please don't do this. But there's a lot of hard work. It's hard work. And if you did not watch my video that I did put out in December about my daily schedule, I recommend everyone, when you have time, to go on the channel and search for that. Just search the channel for like my daily schedule or my daily routine. Because in that video, I actually hold my bullet journal in my hands and read you guys my daily routines and my to-do list from every day, just to kind of give you an idea of what my day looks like and how much work I'm putting in and how much time I'm spending on the different aspects of all of our different streams of income. And I sound like a very busy person. I often wonder how I get everything done. Brian says you have to have a work ethic. It's easy to work hard for someone else and line their pockets because they push you. And this you need to push yourself, or you will go back to lining that person's pockets. Exactly. You don't have someone telling you what to do all day, so you have to delegate the tasks to yourself. And that's why I preach bullet journals, to-do lists, and routines. You guys should be writing this down. You need to be your own boss. Everything you're saying is 100% true. I wish this wouldn't jump around when I'm trying to... The self-motivation piece is probably the hardest part. And unfortunately, I'm going to give you guys another little piece of tough love that a lot of people might not want to hear. But unfortunately, not everyone is meant to be self-employed. Not everyone is meant to own their own business. It takes a certain type of person and personality to be able to do this. You have to be the right kind of person that can be motivated, organized, and self-driven. And that's not if everybody was that person, we wouldn't have any other jobs in the world, because everybody would be working for themselves. So, just some people can do it and some can't. So if you're Carl wants to know how many listings should you have to get 5 sales roughly. If you're selling clothing mostly with a 0.5% sell-through rate, you want to have right around 1,000 listings, maybe a little bit more, to see 5 a day. And that's just a blanket answer, because it also depends on what you're listing. If you have a ton of poop brands and clothes that no one wants and you have 3,000 listings, you still might not sell 5 a day, but roughly right around 1,000. Start a YouTube whenever you're comfortable. We were well into this when I did it. Start a YouTube when you're comfortable, when you're ready, and when you have the time for it, because in the beginning you don't want to be spending too much time on YouTube and neglecting your eBay store. So doing it from the beginning of your journey is a good idea, but YouTube takes a lot of time and you want to get that eBay store built up. So is it Sakina? So sorry. I know I'm not saying your name right. had items to sell for months and you need to you need to get that up. I just recently did a ton of videos about desk piles and getting rid of your clutter around your house. I like to tell people if you have more stuff than you can list and you keep shopping, you're not a reseller, you're a hoarder. So get it listed. Angie says you do amazing. You work so hard through your disability. You motivate me on days I don't want to keep going. Thank you, Angie. I have to keep myself motivated on days I don't want to keep going. I don't want to do it today. No. Shopping on the low. Absolutely. Your Disney plushies are worth something. Check out the comps. What do I use? OBS. I wanted to say Odesk. I don't know what I'm thinking. Pamela, I use OBS. Screen share. Poop, 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 poop. That's the 12-year-old in me, Courtney. Poop and turds. Poop and turds. 1,500 listings. Yeah, Megan's probably more. When we got to 1,000 listings, we started selling five-ish a day. But that was a couple years ago. There's more competition. Things are more saturated now. And always aim high, like I said before. Figure out what your goal is and go above it. Bye, Dominic. Thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate it. I mean, Richard, it doesn't hurt to hit the secondhand stores or the thrift stores because you never know what you're going to find. It never hurts. You're not obligated when you walk in a thrift store to purchase something. You're not obligated to get anything. You can just look and see what you can find because you never know. You might walk in and find something amazing. I'm trying to get through the rest of these questions before I go. I've been on over an hour, but I want to get to you guys. So I do offers to watchers on eBay daily. I also do them daily on Poshmark. I do them all day. Not all day. I check in a couple times a day on both platforms and do them. The Thursdays and Sundays is when I do more on Poshmark. But I do them daily. And check your phone and your desktop, because sometimes I find that there's ones I can send on my phone and they're not on the desktop and vice versa, so I check both. Yeah, Brian's right. Being self-employed is not a vacation, and if you do it right, you'll never have worked harder in your life. Whitley's Wares. I remember when I started YouTube too. It was cringy. It was horrible. It was so just not even, I don't know. I'm much more comfortable in front of the camera now, I guess. So if you want to cross-post the clothes to Poshmark from eBay Carry, you'll have to just get a good system and be very diligent about taking it down off one platform when it sells somewhere else. Vicky says, any advice, please, but I don't see a question from Vicky. I'm scrolling up. I don't see it. All I see is the any advice. $10 super chat from Richard Davis. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You got a little dancing pear. Is a little pear? He's cute. Thank you. Your little hippo should come up in just a second. Yeah, Kimberly, that's just it. When you work for yourself, life does happen. Emergencies happen. Shit happens. And life throws wrenches at you. But at the end of the day, the grocery store doesn't take excuses to pay at the register, and your bills don't care either. That's just the unfortunate. No matter what's going on in your life, the gas company doesn't care. Your mortgage holder does not care. And you still got to eat. So you still got to make the money even when you don't want to. So, all right. Thank you so much for all of the super chats tonight, everyone that sent me a super chat. I absolutely appreciate it, you guys. It helps out so much, and helps us to keep doing what we do. Not only what you see here on the channel, the live shows and the pre-recorded videos, but everything that Keith and I do behind the scenes, as far as helping you all out with messages and emails, all of that, we do on our own time for free. So when you guys send super chats, use our affiliate links and any of that, it absolutely helps out so much. We do appreciate it. I'm going to wrap it up now because I've been on for just a little over an hour and I can start to hear my, what do they call that? Vocal fry. I'm getting to the point where I have vocal fry. And then you guys are going to be listening to me talk like this. So thank you so much, everybody, for the super chats again. Appreciate it. And make sure you hit the thumbs up before you guys leave. It really helps the channel. And it helps this video to be seen by more folks. And somebody out there might need the help or might need to hear this video, and it might help them. So thumbs up, help it get seen. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so and help us feed a hungry hippo. Join our Facebook group if you're not in it already, Flippin' Hippo Reseller Pod. There's a link down below. For those of you that are going to be signing up for List Perfectly, we do have a link all the way at the bottom of our description box. If you want to use that, it is an affiliate link. We get a little kickback from List Perfectly, but we do appreciate it if you use that link to sign up. And you can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're at Flippin' Hippos on all social media, and you can always email me at flippinhipposhelp@gmail.com. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me tonight and spending a little over an hour with me. And go be productive. Go make some money. And I'll see you guys next time. Y'all are the best.